Welcome everybody to the Rotary Club of Jonesboro. Our inspirational moment, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. Turn it over to Jill and let her introduce our program today.
Okay. Y'all, this is Adria Hyde. She is the Goodwill Ambassador with the STARS Foundation. And she's also the brand ambassador for Go Toro. She's going to explain that. And she's also a singer and songwriter. And she's with the Savannah Entertainment Group. So maybe she'll share a little chat about that. But and then also she is, you probably see her byline in the Jonesboro Sun. She is one of their reporters, and we are so happy to have her join our meeting and learn about what the STARS Foundation consists of. Thank you, Adria.
So I've been involved with the STARS Foundation since 2016. I worked in Pigeon Forge for Wyndham Worldwide and was in their department. And that's how I first met Cheryl Piggott. Being someone who grew up and I spent a portion of time in foster care, when she told me about her organization and what the STARS Foundation does, I immediately connected with her cause. Which is to help children around the world that are orphans. So if you know anything about our area, we have a lot of those organizations. And so I feel like establishing a chapter here is going to be something that is important to do. Cheryl's just a tiny, black-haired, soft-spoken woman, one of the kindest, most generous souls that I've ever had the honor to meet. And so 2016 was the first year that I jumped on board with her to help implement a World Orphans Day ceremony in Sevierville. So this would be Mayor Brian actually was there, and he did a proclamation declaring the second Monday of November for the town of Sevierville as World Orphans Day. And we also had several key celebrities there, a NASCAR, who's the first female NASCAR owner, Ken Abraham, 17-time. He's been on the New York Times bestseller list 17 times as an author and public speaker, and his lovely wife, Lisa, was there. Bo Davidson, who's appeared on several soap operas, has a Grammy Award-winning song called Blessed. He's in Memphis now, but he was there with us that day. A lot of people jumped on board to one of the flagship parts of our organization is to have World Orphans Day recognized as the second Monday of November worldwide, all over the place. So fast forward 2 years, the very first one, like I said, was in Sevierville that I was involved in. And we have a lot of fun with our group. They have a division called Hearts on Fire. It's a series. Cheryl is married. Her husband's name is Roger Piggott, and Cheryl's CEO of the STARS Foundation, and Roger's the CEO of Iceman Productions. And together, they also have what's called Savannah Entertainment, which I'm a singer-songwriter for that division. Moving forward, later on that day after we had our World Orphans Day ceremony at the Sevierville golf course in the meeting house, we went and did filming for the Hearts on Fire series. So the National Religious Broadcast Television Network has donated 13 time segments for them to be able to do filming with the Hearts on Fire series. And it features different events in the community, people that are making an impact, and it's people that have hearts on fire for Christ, making a difference in their communities. So it was a really fun day. I think the photo, if they it ends up in the newsletter. I was at Foxfire Mountain, which was a place outside of Sevierville, and we were ziplining as part of our filming. And I remember being all in my gear and looking down, and I'm like, is it really that far across? Robert Braun, who's one of our producers, he made the comment, he goes, well, you know, Adria, we could start out on these small zip lines, or we could go to the big zip lines. And then he's like, as we're riding up on these little ATVs, they're like, where do we go? And everybody's like, go big or go home. And I was like, I think I'll go home. But it was kind of scary looking out across there. But there's such a fun group of people, and their heart for Christ and the impact that they want to make in communities it really reflects in every single activity that I've been in with them. So I wasn't able to connect with them for about 2 years, except doing PR. And in the meantime, I had relocated here to be closer to family. And so during the time that I wasn't involved in some of their direct activities, they went to the UN to petition for a World Orphans Day globally. And so that's countries all over the place. Last year, 2019, we were able to have a World Orphans Day event in Nashville. And so that included meeting the Deputy Prime Minister of Eswatini. Sean Parr is on board. He was there. Janet McElliott, who has done major negotiations, peace negotiations with Sudan, Lebanon, Asia. There was just an amazing group of people. So this one is where they actually went to the United Nations and they petitioned for World Orphans Day. Obviously, COVID has slowed down our progress with that. So this is Themba Masuka. He is now acting Prime Minister of Eswatini. That's him and Roger at the Standard in Nashville. So it was 2019, we were able to meet and we had dinner, but had our candle lighting ceremony commemorating World Orphans Day at the Standard in Nashville. I was able to meet and interview extensively Deputy Prime Minister of Eswatini, Themba Masuka, and Roger's there. We also did filming for Hearts on Fire during that entire event, which it was a 2-day event and it was a summit. We had a limousine with the undersecretary.
Can you just
Deputy
put
Prime,
that screen?
and her name is Delamini Hobaltsite. We had a lot of fun. I didn't know that you could do selfies in Africa, so she educated me on that. We were at Arrington Vineyards after our ceremony, lighting ceremony, where everyone jumped on board to speak, talking about the issues with orphans worldwide, foster children. One of our key ambassadors is Jay Paul, who's done a movie called Foster. And Shaquille O'Neal was the producer for that movie. And so they're all connected with our organization. Lena Page, Adam Rhodes, who is with GoToro, he has a company in Nashville where it's similar to like a vacation sharing space, but it's Christian based. And so I did a mural for his business, but I also represent their organization as well as the Stars Foundation. And he's part of the Stars Foundation. Lena Page is on the left. She's a singer-songwriter. She has a new hit song called Roses in December that's close to #1 on country charts now. The little lady in the middle, who is my mentor and one of my closest friends, that's Cheryl Piggott, who is the founder of the organization. And then I don't know if you guys are familiar with country music radio broadcasting, but the tall guy on the right, or my right, is Sean Parr, who used to do Nash Nights Live. He's just recently started branching out, and he's got a across the country radio show now. They all got a chance to have some fun that day as we were doing our filming and having our summit to go to the Nashville Country Music Hall of Fame. So the Deputy Prime Minister and his entourage really were able to enjoy that. That's Janet McElliott, who is a world-renowned journalist and also a peace negotiator for Sudan, Libya, Lebanon, and parts of Asia. She's been able to negotiate peace treaties in times of crisis, and she works not for, but definitely in conjunction with our federal government. And so she was there to talk about the plights of orphans in Africa. So this is the part that's relevant to us. We want to start a chapter here in Jonesboro. And so this year marked the first, despite COVID, I was able to get a few folks on board. The county partnered, allowed us to use their parking area as a staging area. We're also going to be doing some things with Diego Ranch. Lena came in and performed. I performed. Arkansas State University turned the tower purple because that's our signature color. The project that we have in mind, we're going to be working with Hope House, and we're also working with Rotary on an international level to have a fundraising event for World Orphans Day, which that's on the broader scale. For our local chapter, the idea is to raise funding to be able to bring in our film crew. We want to feature the story of Hope House on our Hearts on Fire episode, which will be broadcast on National Religious Broadcast Television. It's one of those things also that's been put back due to COVID, but there are costs with the crews coming in order to be able to do that. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Hope House, but it is a day program. They're working on the construction of the facility now in conjunction with the Fisher Street Church in Christ. Pastor Matthew Lloyd donated the facility. Amanda Emerson is going to be doing the helping with the work as far as social work, but she's also helping raise funding. So as a representative of the STARS Foundation, I organized a benefit concert to raise funds for that. But in turn, my organization is looking for sponsorships within different community organizations to be able to bring in the film crew to tell the story about Hope House. It's inspiring to me, but it's also inspiring to others, and especially within my organization, about how our community has jumped on board to help with these people that were literally living in our streets downtown. And the story of, I don't know if you guys know about Miss Karen Miller, but she went literally due to our loving and just community-oriented residents. She went from living in front of Kent Arnold's business to now she's fully independent with a job, an apartment, and a car. So it's dear to my heart to reach out and ask Rotary to be the first to consider jumping on board with us. As I said, Cheryl's in negotiation as of now with the Rotary Club on an international level to come up with a golf tournament or some sort of event that all Rotary clubs will be able to participate in conjunction with my STARS Foundation. So I think the initial cost would be $2,500 upfront is what they're asking in order to be able to secure bringing in the equipment, the people to do the filming. I would be setting up the interviews and of course just doing my normal background stuff that I do and facilitating their PR for the event. And then the other cost of $2,500 would be for them to be able to reach out to editors. One person that they use in particular has done lots of filming and movies featured on Amazon Prime. And so he's out of Atlanta. But it's something for you to think about. I'm not asking for a commitment today, but definitely, if you guys do choose to donate, there's a website. It goes directly to their fund for this particular project. But it's something I think that would benefit our community because it would showcase Jonesboro's residents, their generosity, their commitment to help their community on an international level, which I think would entice people, hey, what's going on in this community? You might want to go visit and check it out. So I think it's a win-win for both organizations. Do you guys have any questions? We have over 100 countries that are going to be celebrating World Orphans Day with us in 2021. Simultaneously with candlelight visuals, events, celebrations. We really want to bring awareness to the plights of orphans, but we also represent those that are victims of sex trafficking, those that are victims of, we represent veterans, homeless. There are a lot of different facets to the organization.
And someone has a question, what will be the capacity for Hope House?
there's not going to be a capacity. Okay. So when you look at the Salvation Army, it's not very far from them. Salvation Army has the overnight stay. What they don't have is once daylight arrives, those people that are staying at the Salvation Army are expected to be out and looking for jobs. It's kind of difficult to do that when they don't have laundry services, they don't have shower services, they don't have anybody pointing them in the general direction or giving them the guidance that they need. So the intent is for Hope House to fill in that gap. So they will be open in order to, there's washers and dryers that are going to be there. There's showers. There's people that are going to step up and take care of spiritual needs, take care of casework needs, connect them to food stamps, whatever sources of resources that they need connecting to. That's what Hope House will do. Our goal is to bring awareness to that, which I think, things have a trickle down. So as we begin to get the word out about what's going on in Jonesboro, and as the partnerships with the Stars Foundation continue to strengthen and grow, it's going to benefit the community in ways I don't even think I can imagine at this point. But I feel like the more awareness we have, the more funding that will come in to the city for lots of different things.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Adria? Adria, thank you so much for joining us today. Very interesting. We appreciate you sharing your story with us.